Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny, and in today's video we are going to give you a few updates on the two major projects that we have going on both here at the nursery and our house. We are now up here at the production greenhouse, and you can see that we have some busy workers behind us doing some very important work. So we're going to give you an update on building the greenhouse, the new greenhouse up here at the production site, and we're going to go down in a couple of minutes down to the house and give you some updates on the patio. The kids behind us are doing, this is part of their duties here at the nursery, is to go ahead and prepare the trays for all of the annual plants that we will be planting up starting end of January, beginning of February. This year we have all of the white Proven Winners pots. It's the branded pot, so all of our annuals will go into that. And in order for us to start, getting ready, we try to be one step ahead of the project that's coming up next. Doesn't always happen, but that's the goal. So Jerry is laughing. So let me show you what the deal is. The kids have got a system going on. This year, just like last year, all of our annuals will be Proven Winner annuals. I know that some people have had questions about Proven Winners, and sometimes they're in PW pots, sometimes they're not. Like, what is the deal with that? Past couple of year or two at least, we have not used the white Proven Winners pots. We have just used our generic black pot. So you can do that. The grower has the freedom, the choice to do that. On the annuals. There are certain plants though that Proven Winner says you must put these in a branded pot. They're shrubs, perennials, those sorts of things. Annuals though, you have some freedom on some things. So we are going to go ahead and this year, and if it's a Proven Winners plant, no matter what it is going to go into a branded pot. What's really neat about this is, of course, obviously branded pot for a reason, because it has Proven Winners all over it. It has their information, so there would be no doubt whether or not you were buying a Proven Winners plant here at Creekside. What's really neat though about how they do this is, so these are the trays for the annuals. This is a 10 count tray. As a grower, it is the little things that make us happy. When you put their branded, this is the quart, 4.25. There's all sorts of different pots, grande size. When you put it in here, it automatically turns so that the PW logo is on the side. If you turn it just a little bit, it doesn't work. So it jiggles, and so it settles down, and so no matter what angle you're looking at this tray, you see the white logo on there. And then of course the tag is in there. Now if you are buying from another nursery, thank you Megan, or like from us in the past, and you're saying, well, how can you have it in a non-branded pot? The key is to make sure, of course, that you have that Proven Winners tag. Every time we buy a plant from Proven Winners, whether it's an annual, no matter what, it always has the PW tag. So if your annuals are just in a plain black pot, but they have the PW tag, you're good to go. If it doesn't have a PW tag, you need to be really careful, because it may not be what the seller is saying that it is. So that gives you a little bit of a clue on this. The kids today, the goal is to get 5,000 pots done, and so that's 500 trays. That is not all of them, that's just their goal for today. That includes all of these boxes right here. So they've got a system, the girls are filling them up, and then Jackson will come over here so you can see. Jackson has them, and he is stacking them up against the wall, because we will be doing most of our potting in this greenhouse this January, February. So it just makes it easy just to pull those trays when they're already made. Of course, this is the existing production greenhouse. We will be building one directly next door. We'll go to that in a second. That is essentially the same as this as far as size. It's going to be it's 30 feet wide by 72 feet long. You can see throughout here we have irrigation hanging. This is for all of our, not all, but this is for hanging baskets. And through these irrigation lines, of course, we can water and fertilize. So we have a whole fertigation system. We've talked about that before. We'll link that video where you can go watch how that whole fun system works. So that's what is hanging, is for the hanging baskets. Then we also have a system down here on the ground that will have the hanging baskets. We have all the irrigation lines that run to the individual baskets. Of course, right now we're in production mode. Again, we've talked about it before. We did have landscape fabric in here. The floor was a little uneven and funky. We decided to go ahead and rip that up and to put gravel down. So Jerry has gotten it all nice and level. He's gotten it tamped down. We went ahead and decided to invest in a, what's the official word for this? A plate compactor. We figured between all the construction that we have going on, both up here at these greenhouses and then down at the patio, it was just worth the investment to use it, and it has already been fantastic. So he was able to kind of tamp down and really secure the gravel. You can see where he has done it, and then the section that he hasn't done it. It just makes it for a nice firm base, and when you have plants on here and pots, it keeps them from being so wibbly wobbly. So that's great. So this whole greenhouse is basically ready to go. Of course, we'll reinstall those drip lines for the hanging baskets over here. What's great about this greenhouse is that these doors are 16 feet wide. So we can easily bring in these trailers, the Kubota, all the equipment can come in, go out the back door, and then around. Makes it super easy. And being in here, it's nice and warm. It's cold outside. I mean, you know, we are in North Carolina, so our definition is cold is a little different than maybe some of yours. But we did get down to like 17 degrees, not last night, but the night before. It was, whew, it was chilly. This morning was like 22, I think. Currently, and last year, this greenhouse was unheated. We just the natural, it's like a hot house. But we are going to go ahead and put a heater in here. And in fact, let me show you over here. The gas company came, I think 2 weeks ago, and installed the tank and the line. So this is the gas line coming in. And then that heater will hang somewhere in this vicinity above me. That just gives us that great option of heating this greenhouse, just that little bit of extra that those baskets and annuals might need. So hanging baskets will be on this side, and over here will be, I believe, all of these 4-inch grande containers of proven winners. So you can imagine we can get a ton of annuals in on the ground in here. And of course, we'll leave a driveway to be able to go back and forth. So the kids are working, they're doing great. They know this system really well. They do it every year. Huge help. So there's always a job for them to do. And then coming over here, this is what Jerry and I are going to be working on today. We've been to this spot before. This is where the new greenhouse will go. It will be 3 feet off of the existing greenhouse. It's a great thing about greenhouses. You don't need a whole lot of room between them. You can really jam pack them in here. In fact, you don't really need any space between them. There's called gutter connect greenhouses where they're all connected. But ours will be just a 3 foot off of the existing one. We have that French drain running between them, so any water that sheds off of the two greenhouses will hit that French drain and is piped out that way, Jerry says, and so it will just run out down into the gravel. What we're going to do today is the fun job of setting the 4 corner posts for the greenhouse. And doing that, you get to go back to high school where Emily is doing right now in her geometry, and we get to use some math because, of course, you want the building, it has to be perfectly square. So we're going to use the good old Pythagorean theorem to make sure that our 4 corners are exactly square. Lots of tape measures will be going on all at the same time. We are going to make a video of really all the details of how we're going to do this. So we'll get the 4 corners in, and then Jerry, depending today, may start drilling the holes that hold all of the support beams, posts, all the way down, because you have the 4 corners, and then how many feet is it? Every 4 feet you will have posts that go in the ground that hold all of the purlins for the greenhouse. So that is an interesting job, and of course everything has to be perfectly level. This is where that tedious work of getting all of that done. So much fun. But It's not raining. The sun is out, so it's a good day to do it. But come on down here. Let me show you this. He's got already some of the infrastructure is ready to go. We talked about the gas company came whenever it was. So we got the gas in this greenhouse. Then we've got the gas right here. So this is the gas line running for this greenhouse because it will be a heated greenhouse. This is the pipe for the fertigation, so it'll hold the fertilizer water. And then you have the clean water right here. And then of course, he's already got the electrical lines. Those are all run also. So everything is here. You can see he does have the, just a nice big bolt in the ground right here. This is where the one corner post will come off. We're gonna use the existing greenhouse to kind of help square up as far as how front and back we go, because we really want them kind of just really even. So we're coming 3 feet off. This is really gonna be the mark that we're gonna work off of because this corner is the highest. So once we make sure that we know where this one's gonna go, then we will work on the other 3 corners, because this greenhouse will have, the sides will be automated. So this side is, the sides of this greenhouse do go up and down, but it's a hand crank. So you have to manually do it. On this new greenhouse, it will be controlled by the thermostat. So we'll set it and say at 80 degrees, the sides roll up, you know, whatever the temperature is. That means we have to make sure that everything is perfectly level, because when you start dealing with motors and all that other good stuff, it's got to be perfectly level. So that's going to be the fun, tedious work that we're going to be doing today and the next coming days, I guess, really. All right, so that's what's kind of happening here. And then now let's go on down to the house and check on the patio. All right, folks, so now here we are clearly in the patio area, the back of our house. We've been here many times before. So one of the new additions, one of the new areas that Jerry has really worked on is this low wall right here. You will remember that we have done all the planting beds and all of that. This little area, this little nook area, was a little bit of a questionable area. We just didn't know exactly how we were going to do it. And that's just kind of how Jerry and I do projects. We had the big vision in mind, but we may not have the exactly how it's going to do, and we just kind of modify and change as we go. This is one of those areas where we modified and changed as we went. Go back a little bit, all the way to before this project even began. This deck right here, we had this deck and it extended to this whole patio area because we had an above ground pool, and this deck was level with that above ground pool, so it felt kind of like an in-ground pool. Obviously, all of the pool and that decking is gone. This we wanted to leave because we liked having this space. The floor, even though it was pressure treated deck wood, it just did not hold up and it was just nasty. So Jackson was fantastic and ripped that out for us. So we have the infrastructure, which is, majority of it is still in really good shape. We do have some rot on this front board, so we'll have to replace that. This deck we are going to replace and re-floor it with the Trex. Yes, the Trex. So it's that composite stuff where you don't have to paint, it doesn't rot, yada, yada, yada. And then, because one of our sweet friends and fantastic customers, Sean and Randy, on the back of their deck, they have built-in flower boxes on the perimeter of their deck. So we will have, and I love that idea, so we're gonna copy their idea. So we will have built-in flower boxes that extend from this corner all the way to this corner, and then this corner all the way to the back of the wall. So we'll have nice, you know, not massively tall, but nice boxes right here. And then we can have, of course, the deck area with the chairs, table, whatever. That will happen, and then we will build kind of a faux wall to hide this lovely hot mess that's going on underneath the deck. So you will have a wall so you can't see through it. this space, our friend Josh kind of came up with this idea, and Christine, so they had both the same idea at the same time. We created another little flower bed right here. Obviously, we went down a step, so this will have a little step down, nice little area. Here in the center of this space, we're gonna have some sort of water feature. Haven't exactly narrowed that down yet, so stay tuned. We have a couple of ideas that we're throwing around in our head. We're just trying to figure out which one's the best one to do. So we'll have a water feature right here, and then on either side of that, I've already ordered 2 of the David Austin roses. They're 2 different varieties of pink roses, but they're both a pale pink. They'll both be about 5 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. So they will fill in their space and even spill over a little bit, but that will kind of continue the rose theme from the other wall. So that's what's going to happen here. And then coming down, this was another, we knew that we were going to have steps coming down from the patio going down into the yard because there is a pretty big drop off. What we've decided to do is we're going to have a 4-foot wide step, and the first step this will all be pavers up to this point, pavers here, and then you'll step, 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 and then out into the yard. Now, how many steps are we going to have? We'll let you know. We'll figure that out. We'll have to raise this up just a little bit, of course. We've got grading issues going on right here that we'll have to address. And then from this wall where it extends roughly, we'll bring some, of course, level all the dirt and the gravel and all that other stuff. But then this will be a planting bed that comes around here and ties in to where that tea olive is back there. I'm thinking this is where I'm going to put those gardenias. Remember the Southern Living gardenias? They'll go here because they'll stay nice and low, but this is another really hot spot. So 4-foot wide steps here. Then coming right here, this part will be patio still. Patio back up in here. And then where this block is about where the seating wall is going to begin. So we'll have a nice curved seating wall that will extend. If you kind of see the paint, that's kind of where that's going to go. And on each end of the seating wall, we'll have like a column. So it kind of anchors that space. So we'll have a nice little column right here. And again, the dimensions, we'll let you know on all that. That's a whole nother project. Yeah. And then this part, at some point, this is another, we're just going to have to play with it as we go area. Yeah, so we're thinking right now that we'll do, of course, we'll have, the wall, the seating wall, and then back here, we'll do like some decorative gravel down, and then some nice big stones, boulders that have come off of our property because we have plenty of those over at the nursery. So we'll have that, and then below this, extend this whole area, will be a planting bed that will go down, and I'm going to fill it with, at least the back of it will be filled with white hydrangeas that extend all around the back of the seating wall. So when they're in bloom in the summer, you just see this hedge of beautiful blooming white hydrangeas. I've got a couple in mind. I just haven't narrowed it down yet. There's so many great ones out there that would do fantastic for us. But I'm thinking about really like Incredible from Proven Winners was my #1 choice. But we'll see. You know me, I kind of have to go with the flow. But anyway, so we're making progress. It is right after Christmas. We're going to have some time off as far as like from school and from daily work activities, so we can get a lot of project works done. So between this project and the greenhouse, those are hope to get a lot of headway made. The main thing right now will be to get these steps in, because once we get the steps in, then we will do the wall and go from there. Really, we kind of got excited about putting the pavers down, and Jerry put some down just to kind of get an eye and see how they're going to look. But we really think that the pavers will be probably really the last thing that goes in, because we've got to get the steps in. We've got to get this wall in. We needed to have those big pieces in place before we ever start laying the pavers. So, but once we get those pavers going, hopefully it'll go really fast. But as always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. We'll keep you up to date on everything that's going on around here. Y'all have a great day. See you in the next video. Bye, friends.